Before we start, let's have a quick discussion over what we, discussed, what all points we covered, what we understood about SAP ECC, SAP S4HANA, the differences, how the hierarchy of R2, R3 to ECC to S4 it came in picture, and how the Fury apps were, used across S4 HANA, what all changes have come up, what is the, benefits of using S4 and the Fury apps, how it is becoming more user friendly, what all system integrations are there with S4 HANA, what all third parties we are using, all those things that we discussed. So I am sure you must have got some time to, have a quick walkthrough or quick review. Do you feel that there is anything you want to go back and ask on anything that we discussed? What we are going to cover is we covered what is SAP S4 HANA. From onwards, we'll be covering the master data. So by master data, I mean we will start with the main master datas, and then we will slowly and gradually move to our other master datas, like we have bank account management, and then house bank creations, and then other stuff like that. So I'll be just telling you which module and what we are covering so that you have a brief. Please don't think that we are very much going in sequence. It's just the alignment in SharePoint might look different to you. So we will be doing the first module of customizing in cash management. This covers the whole master data for house bank and bank account management. Once we are done with this, we will move further towards our treasury aspect, because we would need our house banks and bank account configuration even when we are setting up our business partners or moving to treasury transactions. So that is the reason we are going to cover this module first. I hope you don't have any questions regarding that. Sure. So this is the disclaimer. I'll just give you a 30-second duration to have a quick look at it, and then I'll further move to the agenda. We'll talk about defining the functions of SAP Cash Management. Just to give you a brief overview, SAP Cash Management is a very broad module which covers multiple aspects. Like we have in cash and liquidity management, we have electronic bank statements, our cash operations, our liquidity, our bank relationship management, where you have bank master data, your bank communication management, all those things. So in our sessions, we will be seeing how Treasury is integrated into SAP S4 HANA and how it is integrated with the cash management module. So further, we will see what are the functions of SAP Cash Management, how it is connected to different platforms with like bank, market data, trading platforms. We are going to see in our upcoming sessions how they are integrated with SAP. Today, we are going to move to our SAP screens, and we'll be configuring our bank accounts, house banks, and bank master data. So the important aspects that we are going to cover from the perspective of SAP Cash Management is we are going to see different bank keys that we are going to set up. We are going to set up an entire scenario where we'll create a bank master data. In that, there will be bank accounts, how we are going to link it, what will be the different settings for approvals we are going to make, all those things. Before this PPT is talking about different ecosystem under Treasury, which consists of subsidiaries, the different bank connectivities, the trading platforms, the market data, how they all are linked with SAP. So once we talk about the basic cash management versions, so there are two versions. So whenever you are dealing with a client, it is always very much recommended. It's from my experience and a general practice that you recommend, or you pre-inform your client that there are two versions. One is a basic version which does not come with any additional license cost. It has all the functions of bank account management and basic functions of cash management, like cash position and liquidity forecast. The other version of cash management is an advanced cash management version, which has the features and a separate license model. So a separate license cost is, you know, rec- paid for buying this advanced cash management model, which consists of your bank account management, operations, liquidity management also. So additional here is, your liquidity management that comes in here. Bank account management, something which you get in both basic and advanced. So when we talk about basic cash management and advanced cash management, I have already told you how it is different. You can see that the scope is mentioned in here. There is a separate license model, and what all is covered in that license is given in here. Now, it just gives you more details about the different cash management versions, the bank account management, cash operations, and additional transactions from SAP ECC 6.0 cash management. So we have in the bank account management all the functionalities to create and manage your banks and house banks. For different bank accounts and house bank accounts, you can display, you can change, you can close your bank accounts. In cash operations, you can create your memo records, edit your memo records, display your memo records, display your cash positions and liquidity forecast. In the additional transactions from SAP ECC, you can have multiple reconciliations and account transfers. So these are the basic things which, on the basis of which you can differentiate your advanced cash management and your basic cash management. And it comes with a different license, which is a very important thing while getting into any contract with any clients. So these are the basic T codes or Fiori apps which we'll be using and we'll be considering to do our house bank setup and bank account setup. Further, advanced cash management functions involve all these things, and you can compare these two slides and see what all extra we are going to see and get in advanced cash management license. So definitely depends on client to client, and you have to see their requirement that if they are willing to pay that extra cost to get the advanced cash management version, or they are okay and all the things that they need are accommodated and covered in the basic cash management functionality. So you see, you can have a quick look at this, that the functions that is provided in the advanced cash management. Here you get the full life cycle of a bank account, which means from creating to closing, and where business departments can make the changes according to different scenarios, business cases. The cash operations are having a broader functionality where bank statement monitor is there, bank account balance, cash pooling, bank payments approval, tracking, and cash flow analysis would be there. So this is how, basically our cash management is seen. Now, how we are going to deploy these cash management module in SAP? There are two ways we are going to deploy. We have an option to deploy it on cloud, and we have an option to deploy it on-premise. So you can see that the subscription licensing with deployment in the cloud is different from the traditional licensing, which is deployed in on-premise. This is also a business decision, how they want to do it and how they want to take it. The deployment options, how they differ from on-premise to cloud, we can see in here. Basically, in on-premise deployment option, we have certain attributes like it is hosted on the customer's infrastructure itself. A complete control of the deployment and maintenance is with the customers. The flexibility in configuration and enhancements is there, and it can be deployed, certified SAP add-ons and interfaces which we have in standard functionality. Now, talking about the essential edition of SAP S4HANA Cloud, Cloud has different features. It has a standardized package with subscription pricing. So one of the major factors that client does not want to pay on an extra cost until unless they are, having a very specific business requirement which would want an advanced cash management functionality. So that's why a pricing factor becomes a very important function or important aspect in deciding on-premise and cloud also. And hosted in multi-tenant public cloud by SAP. It is hosted in multi-tenant public cloud. There is a minimal control because it's a cloud-based implementation. The best practice solution with limited customize and enhancements. Just to tell you that in cloud, we do not have multiple options to customize and enhance. And the add-on interfaces are also through standard APIs. So any questions in here?
Thank you. We discussed this part before with
Okay, fine. So I'll just close this. If you have already discussed this, then we have covered this part. Now let me go back to module 2, where we'll be, I hope this is not covered, where we are creating the new bank account master data and we are creating the house bank structure. Have you also covered that part? No, I guess, right?
No, just we start, but it's not completed.
Okay. So I'll just open my SAP screen and then I'll just share my screen again. So I'm not sure where you have covered it till now. So I will just do it, from the beginning so that if you have any questions, And you can let me know, I can, move a bit faster at that area, and then maybe, that's how we can do it. If you
Yes,
think that
yes.
has already been done. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Great.
sure,
So
sure.
can you
Yeah,
see my SAP screen?
yeah. Now screen is visible. Yeah.
Perfect. Great. So we are going to create the new bank master. Now the bank master is involves creation of different bank accounts and how the bank accounts will be created in SAP. So in
Sorry to
SAP,
interrupt you. احنا
yeah.
we will start by the cash management part. Well, just will taking only the managed bank account from the cash
So
management. We continue with the treasury.
So basically, just to tell you here, the course contents are, a little misdistributed in here. I will, check and distribute it properly. So what happens is this master data is very much required before the business partner master data. So we, need to do this as a prerequisite also. So I wanted to give you a background of treasury and cash management and then create first the bank master. I will complete this module completely and then we will resume from where we stop. Hope that's
Okay.
okay. It's just the misalignment in the course content where they are placed in different modules, but the sequence is like that. It will help you understand better. So
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
worry
sure,
about
sure.
that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but as
Don't worry
because
about
why I ask you because this part is as I own it from the cash management training
it.
module.
Yes, yes. So this is covered by the previous trainer, is it?
No, just we talking about the business process only, but
Yes,
regarding for the
yes.
whole business process and the configuration part is not
Mm-hmm.
completely clever.
Okay, perfect. Okay, no problem. So let's start doing it. So now, if this is the Fury app, this is how the Fury app looks like. These are the different tiles which you can create: accounts payable, then we have procurement, accounts receivable. From here, we can go to the app finder, which I believe you very well know. So the first configuration that we are going to do is we will create and define the account properties, a bank account properties. So for that, we will be using the Manage Bank tab. So here I will go to the Manage Bank app for some reason. Okay, here we are. If you see, this is how the Manage Banks app looks like. So here we are going to create the Manage Bank, the bank basically, the new bank. The first thing that we are going to do is you can see a create option in here where we will give the basic information regarding our bank. So this information requires like which particular country the bank belongs to, what will be the bank key. So you must be aware what is a bank key. A bank key basically is a unique identifier which we use in SAP to represent a specific bank within a particular country. And it is very important for distinguish banks in SAP because there are multiple banks we are going to set up. The bank key is such a reference for SAP to identify the correct bank details associated with this particular bank key. So we will take the region as DE, basically European region, we can take Germany, and we can put the bank key as something with starting with this, and we can put a random number. Now, the bank name, we can put the bank name as German International Bank. We can put the bank category here. Under bank category has multiple options. So, what type of bank it is, you can use a payment service provider, a payment system, or anything. You can use it as a standard bank for now. So, I can use the standard bank. This is wholly and solely a business data. So, whatever banks they are dealing with, you have to provide the details according to that. Now this is the banks which you'll be using in future to assign it to your counterparties, etc., etc. Now the bank category is given. We can give the street details. Any street details would do. We can give any financial center XYZ. We can give the city. We can give the city as Berlin maybe, and we can give the region as Berlin as well. Any bank branch if you want to provide, you can. So these are the details in the general data you can give this particular bank. So here you have given all these details of a particular bank. I can go and click on the save icon. Once you save this will be saved in here. Yeah, am I audible? Yeah, sure. So we have one. Okay, I have given 1, 2, 3. I'm so sorry, I have put an extra. So we have the length of a bank key always decided based on the countries that we choose. So accordingly, you have to decide the length of that particular bank key which that country accepts. So can you see this is the data that is created and this is the bank key number. So we will keep a note of this bank key number which we are creating for further references. So I will create a sticky where I will keep a note of whatever we are creating. Now further what we will do is we will go to the manage banks app again and then see further what is the data of the bank accounts, the house banks that we are going to create. So this is how we have created the bank master. Now the further next I think that we are going to do is creating the bank master. So there are different apps that you're going to use in SAP during your entire life cycle. So this is the first app that we have used, which is Manage Banks. You can have a quick note of it, or you can refer it in the first module. Then you'll be able to quickly understand and remember it once you see and customize on your own. Now the second thing that we are going to do the customizing in cash management, the second item that we are going to customize is the new bank as a house bank. First, we are going to create the new bank as a house bank. For that, where we are going to do? We are going to go to the same manage bank tab here, master data. I have gone in here. Then what I'll do is I'll go to the manage bank screen. I'll go to the details button at the right of our, can you see the details option here? We are going to see the bank key here. We are going to put our bank key, which we have copied and pasted. We are going to click on the go. If you see, this is the one we have created. Click on go. This is the icon where we can see the data and details of our master data. Now, further, what we are going to do is when we have this, came to this, now in this, we will go in the display bank and see the information on the right. It will be split into two tabs where we can see the data into the different sections. Now, there are data updated in different sections here. If you see, second, I'll go to the manage bank. Here I'll put my bank key. This is my bank key. So you need to make sure that there are multiple apps which have been deprecated also. And you need to make sure that you are entering into the right app. So that's why, sometimes we might end up, so the screen looks different from the app which I visited in earlier. So that was the master data app, and this is the cash management. The difference between these two is cash management and master data. The earlier app that I went in was bank master data, and this is bank cash management. Now here you can see all the general information of whatever bank key, bank number is appearing in here. Now what we have to update? We have to update the house bank details of our particular bank. We have to create this as an house bank. Now we are going to click on the edit icon. We are going to create it as a house bank now. Create the respective house bank details in here. We go to the house bank section, excuse me. You can see the house bank details are currently not available in here. So we are going to click on the create icon. So this is where you can find the details of a particular, the bank key that you have created. Once you enter in here, you will give the details of a bank key and company code. What is the house bank that you want to give? So you can choose something with maybe T-B11 and you can continue. Okay, let's choose something different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, TB12. This is also existing. So one major thing while seeing this error, we should make sure that the data does not overlap or we are not putting something which is already existing. System will not allow us to enter in and put those data, and we cannot use the data which is already existing. So we need to make sure that the data is not available and not already created. Okay. So this is how we will update the details. Here you can see, give the details of the particular house bank. So here I can give the bank number, account number. Okay. So here I have given those details for this particular company code and I can just save. That's okay. You can proceed. It's just a warning. So in SAP, we can, avoid our warnings for anything which is there. But we need to, in real time scenarios, we should make sure that we, follow the respective country specific guidelines in terms of creating any specific house bank or, bank account, which is important. When we don't do that, the system usually don't allow us. Here we have set it up as a warning message. There might be error message related to this when, we are using a specific bank key number or anything like that. Any questions up till here?
No, thank you. It's clear for me.
Perfect. So now we have completed, creation of the bank master here, the house bank. Now coming to the bank account master, where we will update other details like what you can say, the data of the GL, the other stuff, the bank account, whatever other data we have, we are going to update that data in the bank master that we have created. So for this, I just want to understand. I am not pretty sure. Have you worked earlier in S4 HANA? This would give me a brief of, because you might be knowing these things since you are an FICO consultant already. Or how much is your understanding in that? Is this area you have already worked on, or how?
Yes, already I have the experience in this part, yani, to cover the basic cash management. Already I have the knowledge about this part. How to create
Okay.
bank, how to create bank account. Two apps already I worked on it. But
So you also know that we can create the banks in through an application also, right? We
yeah,
can.
yes, already I create two bank accounts there for the testing purpose also.
Oh, great, great, perfect. But still, due to the training requirement, I just would want to, cover it for you so that you understand. And
Yes, yes.
so,
Already we covered the business process for the bank creation before, but we didn't complete the process like how to create hierarchy, how to create something like this.
perfect.
This topic is not completed.
Okay, okay. I will show you that. Now I'm going to create the bank account specifically. I can choose what type of bank account I need. Is this a bank account, a current account, or a deposit account, or a loan account? I can choose it accordingly. Once I go in, I will not go very I will not be very specific in providing you each details, but I will move in here so that you understand that okay what we are creating. That's all. You can see that what I'm doing in the screen, which I think you mentioned you already know. But if you still see any questions, I can answer that for you.
Yes, yes, please.
Now, yeah. So I'll give the bank account number and I can choose the region, which is okay. I can give the bank key which I created. Perfect. I can give the currency and we can save this data. So just to know, we can use the different types of fields, but it's very important to use the mandatory fields, which I have already given. The IBAN and other stuff, which is very specific to respective banks, we can find it from the bank. The bank sends us always the details of what they are using, and we can find it on Google also. So that's pretty much about creating a bank account. Now, further, let me go to the next this thing. That's okay. This is not added to the hierarchy, which is perfectly fine. Now, close this. House bank connectivity we will do. Then we will, in the next step, do the hierarchy part. How we are going to assign the GLs and the house bank to this particular bank account, we are going to see that now. So where I will go in the system is I will go to the Manage Bank Accounts app again in my SAP screen. We'll go back. I'll go to Manage Bank Accounts app. So you can see there are multiple options that we get in here, but we have to choose it accordingly. Now we will choose the account that we have already created and edit it. So what was our account number? It was 11. Just a second, I'll connect it to the charger. Okay, this is the bank account that we created. We'll go in here. Now we are going to go inside. So if you see the options here, just for your knowledge purpose, I want to tell you that this at the screen, if I go back, you can see there are multiple options. We have import and export of bank accounts also. So in circumstances where we have the data already in any legacy system, we can also import and export our already created bank account from the legacy system. There is an option to click on this icon and download a particular template. In that template, we can fill our bank account details. And once we upload this template in the SAP accepted format, we need to, map the respective fields, whatever we have, and create it in a particular template and upload it. Once we do that, it basically upload the bulk data at that point of time, and we are able to create that bulk data by the upload option also. If we are not newly creating, or if that is one other way we can create our bank accounts in SAP. Now we will go to the house bank connectivity, which is a very important tab for us, where we have to link our house banks. So maybe you can create it in here, or maybe you can manage and assign the already created one. So here the house bank is fine, and we have to give the house bank account. We can give as maybe 0, which or the one which we create. So this is the one here. In case if we want to use this bank account and cash pooling, this is the indicator which we are going to tick.
Hey, you know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features: bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
The validity of this bank account is defined in here. So the other thing that we have to do, which is very important, here in ECC, these activities were done in SAP ECC screen, and we used to assign the GL account in there. But in S4 HANA, we do not have this particular option in GUI. We can only do it in Fiori apps. Now we can give this, and once we have done this, we will apply and save. So we will also further see, I'm just going module by module. That is why I'm not showing you the specific process of payment approvers now, because I feel it will come in future. So I'm going in sequence, as in how it comes in the modules. I will show you that. Okay. So this is how we create connect our house banks with our bank accounts. Now coming to hierarchies. This is the, how we create the bank hierarchies. We are going to talk about that. So I just want to understand from you, what do you understand by bank hierarchies, and have you ever created any bank hierarchy for, any of your tasks earlier in with your client or anything like that? And why do we need them basically?
Yes, before I think the main objective from the bank hierarchy to categorize the bank details based on the region, based on the country, based on currency wise. I think it was using the bank hierarchy to grouping the bank or classify the bank in groups. I think also some integration with the cash management in this part for the pooling, how to transfer the fund from here to there, something related for this part.
Perfect. So basically, the reason we are using bank hierarchy is perfectly correct. What you mentioned, it is basically overview of the entire monetary structure, like any particular country is having, and then we can create the specific bank hierarchy with all the respective banks and bank accounts, which is in a particular country, and it can also give you a brief view of seeing all your European banks, your US banks, and other stuff like that. That is why we are going to create an hierarchy for a better view. So we are going to go to Manage Bank Account Hierarchy app. We have multiple hierarchies already created, and you can see the hierarchies which are already created. There are multiple ways here. You can search your hierarchy based on the hierarchy ID, the status of the hierarchy, and the valid and from and to date. That's how you can filter out your hierarchy. There is one more way you can import your hierarchies in SAP. From, like we said, we can manage to import and export our bank accounts. We can also import our hierarchies. These import options, gives us a various particular feasibility to import our hierarchies from different legacy systems, or maybe your ECC system to your S4 system. You have to give the ID. That's a whole different process. Here we are going to create it manually. So now we are going to create the hierarchy. For that reason, we have to give the details, like what type of hierarchy is it? Is it a bank account group or any different sort of hierarchy? We can provide our hierarchy with the hierarchy ID, which can be, maybe we can give 1, 2. I can copy this and save this data as the ID. Okay. Then we can give the hierarchy description. The description should be very specific to what country hierarchy it is, which is, most valid and feasible form to do it. I'll give the validity date. You can always give the validity date according to the requirements of the client. So this particular hierarchy is created in draft version now. Now, when we go to the hierarchy, we can go inside and we can see the screen is split into two halves. So here, if you can see in the hierarchy, if I go in here, details, there is nothing as of now. When you see that the hierarchy is in here, you have to go in edit option. And once you see in the edit option, there is a plus icon available in here. So under this hierarchy, you can add in as many as subnodes or as many as bank accounts in here. So first, what we are going to create is we will create subnodes. What type of subnodes can we create? Within Europe, there are multiple regions. So if we want, that's completely very flexible client requirement. If the client wants to create a subnode country or city specific or town specific or Eastern Europe, Western Europe, like that, we can create the subnode. We can give a description to the subnode. This is how I have created a subnode. Now, in another subnode, I can add in here again. I can create another subnode for Eastern Europe so that you understand that there are two parts we have divided our bank hierarchy in, and we can add our bank accounts accordingly under these. So this part you haven't covered and you haven't created, right? Earlier in your plan.
Yeah. Now we take some example about the bank.
Okay. So further, we have created this. Now what we are going to do is we are going to add the respective bank account in here. Now we have created a bank account with the number 11112. So we are going to search for our bank account that we have recently created. Maybe we can put our bank key as a reference so that our bank account comes in. And then further, you can put as many as bank accounts that belongs to this region in the Western Europe or Eastern Europe and create that hierarchy, which will provide you a good view of the accounts in here. I think that's not added in here. Let me see. Here, number. The system is a bit slow. I think there's a time error in here. The Fury app closed. Just relogin.
Yes.
Perfect. Let's go to the bank hierarchy again. I think we have lost the thing. Okay. So here we will go to this app manage bank account hierarchy. There we have created our hierarchy. So this is one which we created. EU_12. This is the one which we have created. Eastern Europe and Western Europe. We will go to edit. We are going to the respective bank accounts. So we can see the account number. So we have created 1 or maybe we can add something which is already in here in the DE. We can go to the currency as EUR. We can see it according to those filters. I think when we are trying to go to the filter, this is going into a runtime reason. Yes, this has come. So we are going to add this particular. I think we have not activated that bank. That's why it's not showing in here. We will activate it after we go out of the screen. So this is how we have added the bank account in Eastern Europe. Again, we could do one thing. We can add another bank account in Western Europe branch, which we can take some other bank account. That's how the list of bank accounts can be segregated and added in different. This is the one we can add in here. So this is how we have added the bank accounts in the hierarchy. Now, there is an option to either directly copy this hierarchy and create a new one where, simpler options are available to copy it and just change the naming conventions. We can delete this hierarchy from this option available in here. Need to make sure that the hierarchy is already created in active mode. And from here, we can activate the hierarchy to see that this hierarchy is activated and in process, basically. So if you see, the status of the hierarchy changes to active once we have activated this. Any questions around this?
No, thank you. It's clear. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this is how you can add endless company codes and endless bank accounts. So that's how we do it.
My question: where we can use this hierarchy?
Basically, where you use bank hierarchies is whenever you are creating a particular bank master data, there you can see that this particular bank account offers, belongs to which bank hierarchy. There it is, and the reporting aspect also, it is very much important for us to see which European banks are there and which all countries, different banks are being used in different reporting aspects. So if you want to see a balance in just in case, if you know and understand that we are using or a Fury app for reporting purpose, or anything where we can want to see the balance of a particular country or a particular house bank or bank accounts all together in that particular region. There, basically, we can use bank hierarchies. And other ways where you can use SAP bank hierarchies is basically when we see that there is a relationship management, when we see cash management and liquidity planning, where we see the reporting aspect. Bank hierarchies are available in the cash flow analyzer app, where you can drill down and see the cash positions across different banks and subsidiaries. Also by different regions, you can choose, you can see the you can consolidate each position by region wise, and make your decision, optimize your liquidity, and the funding decisions can be made according to your bank hierarchies. And also we can use it in payment processing and during bank communication. So whenever we are doing any payment, these hierarchies also simplify the payment processing by organizing our accounts under a single bank or a single group. And also we can manage the workflows, and we can define specific bank accounts for payments by region. So there, all these places we can use our bank hierarchies, and it makes the processing simpler at those stages. Does that make sense? And also it is very important for compliance and risk management purpose.
Yeah, can you show me مثلا which report can be using this hierarchy, for example, as you mentioned,
Sure.
for the
Okay, just give me
management
a moment.
account, it will be there.
So this all we will cover in future, but if you have asked for it, I'll just show you quickly. So if we run this, can you see display hierarchy? I can choose the bank account hierarchy ID here, and I can choose whichever bank hierarchy has data like this. I want to see the reporting at this level. I can see this entire cash flow analyzer report for this particular bank hierarchy, region wise, currency wise, country wise. So this is where this is one of the apps. So if you can see, this is the bank name, this is the bank account number. There is no much data in this, but I will show you in future how the incoming and outgoing data is seen in this. So maybe I can take a different which has good data, so that in future it doesn't. Yeah, this has something. So if you see, this is the European hierarchy, this is the banks in Eastern Europe, this is the banks in Western Europe. Here you can see this is the bank account, this is the euro. Then further, as in how your cash flow triggers, like if you have an incoming payment or an outgoing payment, you will be seeing symbols like in red arrow, which will be outgoing, and red arrows which will be, or green arrows which will be incoming. And then you further drill down, you'll be able to see your balances, your here you have a lot of options. Like on the currency, you can filter the time period, you can give the dates, you can give the currency, you can give the snapshot time, exchange rates, all those in flexible. And this cash flow analyzer app is very detailed structure for the hierarchy view. Okay, does this answer your question?
Yeah, thank you, that's clear for me.
Perfect. Now okay, just a moment. Yeah. So now we are going to the bank account hierarchy. Similar way, we are going to be creating the bank account. There is no much difference. The reason why we are using remains the same. But the only thing is, whenever we are reporting our data, it is very important to have a clear identification and clear areas where you have the option to see your data as bank account wise, house bank wise, and different options should be available for you. That is the reason we create these different hierarchies. Let me open Fury app. Okay. So now we will create the monetary structure in Europe. So we will create a new bank account hierarchy where we will be creating a group for the respective hierarchy for a bank account. For this, we will go to the Manage Bank Account Hierarchy app. From the app finder, you can go to Manage Bank Account Hierarchy app. This is the bank hierarchy view. Now here in similar function, what you can see here it is already created this Manage Bank Hierarchy. Just a second. Now what we can do is this is how the hierarchy looks like. So when you see a respective hierarchy, I would just show you a particular hierarchy for a respective bank. If you want to see, this is one. Okay, this is disabled.
But is this
And
a
I can
different
choose.
bank hierarchy? Yes.
Sorry.
Is this a different type of the bank hierarchy or the same?
Yes. So earlier we saw region wise. Now what we can see is, in a particular region, what all bank accounts is the same. But you can create, edit, delete from here, and you can see the available banks in here. And from this particular screen, what you can do is you can add a particular bank, and you can also add a bank with counterparty detail. You can also add a bank with, respective. See, these are the bank accounts that we have created and activated. Now, you can see all the countries available in here for which you are, all the company codes and countries that you are trading in. Now, for just, reference that these are the bank names, bank accounts available for us and created in the hierarchy. What we can do is for a particular bank key, like whatever bank key is available in here, what we can do is we can choose any specific bank account and add that bank hierarchy under that company, under that country. If a hierarchy is already created, we can add it to a combination of another region and bank key. And that would be an easier process to do that. Now, if I save this particular bank, hierarchy will be added. If I go in here and I but go in at this, it's not 1 second. What is the issue? See. Yeah, sorry, my bad. No. So I have to choose the respective banks in here. Okay, and choose this. You can choose this add bank in here. So now you will see the hierarchy status will change. Now this particular country has this bank account added in its hierarchy. Now, if I want that this should have the business partner details also added in this bank key, what I can do is I can pick it. It's already in there, but I can choose another one. Let me first save this. Let's go in here. These are the respective business partners with some credit risk or something else. Now I've chosen this particular country, which is not added in the hierarchy. The bank key which does not have any hierarchy. I would choose this one, and I would want to add respective this country and bank key combination to this particular risk BP hierarchy. For all these three counterparties, I can click on edit option and I can add with BP. You can you can choose the business partner there. From here, if you see, there's an option to choose the respective counterpart created for that particular bank. So I don't know if that option are available. I can choose a DE bank business partner. Okay, there might be save it. So this is like if any country and bank key combination does not have a bank hierarchy, from this screen, you can directly assign an existing bank hierarchy to that combination. That's the only difference. And here you can remove the banks also from the bank hierarchy. Can you see relationship was applied and hierarchy saved? That means you don't have to create a new hierarchy. You can just see the list of all the bank keys available for different countries, and you can see the list of bank hierarchies on the right hand side, and you can just apply any bank hierarchy to any bank key and bank combination, bank country combination. Any issues in here?
No, but I am confused about what is the difference between.
So the only difference is
Oh.
only difference is there you go. If you see the screen, you create a hierarchy newly, correct?
Yes.
Here you will see the existing hierarchies. Here you will see the list of bank countries. It is a view. It's a view difference. If you see there, you will never see any bank hierarchies which are already created. Here you will get the list of all the bank hierarchies. You can expand it, and the left hand side you can see which country and bank key combination has the hierarchy, is assigned to a hierarchy, and it is not assigned to a. Here you can assign the existing hierarchies to the respective banks. There you have to create new hierarchies, then you will go there. So it's a smaller process which we are doing from the screen. It is basically whenever you're creating a new hierarchy, it is shown in that list. Okay, and there you are not able to assign it to the basic bank country and bank account. You are just creating the hierarchy. Here you're assigning the hierarchy. Got my point?
This hierarchy has been created at the first stage.
Yes. Yes, and now it is being assigned at this stage. All the hierarchies that will be created and activated.
Sorry, already we have the facility to assign the bank directly when we create the bank hierarchy at the first stage also.
If you go in here, let's go back
Yeah.
and let's see that view also for your reference. I will keep this as also open so that we can compare two screens and make it more clear for you. This is the screen which we are on. Okay. Can you see here? The screen is very different. Here, if you see, you do not have any option to assign. If I go in, I have to create it. If I cancel this, if I go in here like this hierarchy, here you are just creating an hierarchy. Okay. Now, if you see here, I have a particular bank account added and all that, but there is no respective house banks which we want to, we can see which is not added to this hierarchy. If I want to see a broader list of which is added and which is not added, so this is an individual item that you are creating in here. There you can, have an option, like if you see here, there you have an option to see all the countries, all the bankies in Germany region, and you can see that this is the list of hierarchies available, and you can apply in a single click. If I go save this in a single click, what you can do is you can apply, you can see, you can have a view, you can see that which hierarchy is not having, which banky is not having tagged to the hierarchy. You can just click in here and respectively choose the hierarchy you want to assign this to this bank. There is a difference in the view of the and the way we are doing it. Here you can go here. If I edit it, you can see I'm adding it here, editing it here. Here you are creating the subnode. Here you are assigning what you are assigning a bank account in here. I can choose the respective bank account, but I don't know which particular bank account is already added, which particular bank account is not already added. So this is the US one. I'll take, for example, US only. Let's take this. Okay. Okay. Now I'm adding this. I have the information that, okay, that this is added. Now this is which hierarchy we have taken. Let's save it and let's activate it. Okay. Now this hierarchy is activated. What is the name of this hierarchy? Let's go down. This group underscore zero. Now if I go here and if I go back and see, maybe if only this is the data which is added in the particular, these bank accounts are added to the hierarchy. Here you can see, go in, edit it. Yeah, here you can see the layout. Now see, if you compare this, you have all the countries available in here. You have all the bank accounts, bank keys available in here. Now, if I edit this, let me choose this. It's not editable because this is open. The creation is open. If you are creating an hierarchy, you cannot edit it at the same time. So if I have created any hierarchy here, if I want that hierarchy to be, any bank account to be assigned to that particular hierarchy, but I don't know at the same point of time how many bank accounts are available in that country or in that region, I have to go back and forth and see and add it here manually. But this is a one-time activity that you do. Like if you are newly creating a particular hierarchy, you can go and come to the screen. But if you want to add your future bank accounts or multiple bank accounts that you have created in this region, you don't need a separate hierarchy to be created. What you will do is you will assign it to the already created bank. You don't have to create a new hierarchy, so you will not go to that screen. That screen would very much do that job. You can go and edit and add that bank account, but why would you want to do that? If you have an option to see all the DE banks, all the Germany bank keys, you can already assign to an existing bank hierarchy. You can directly just take it, edit it, and add to the bank hierarchy. Why do you want to go back and do by editing it, do back and forth, seeing your bank accounts, putting it there, putting that information there? So this is the view perspective. That is a one-time activity. First time you do it, you create a hierarchy, and in future, any bank accounts you create in that region, which is going to be assigned to the same bank hierarchy, you will use that. Is that clear?
Yeah, that's clear for me. But here, when we can add to this bank hierarchy in this screen.
Sorry, can you come again?
Yeah, I'm talking about where is the features to allow to me to add or adjust the current bank hierarchy from there. يعني already I create one, صح? One grouping underscore 02. But group underscore 02 is not showing here.
Okay. Yes. that I'll show you. If you see here, this group bank account hierarchy is created on this particular day, and it is created for which regions and what all details. There is this group 1, group 3 available, and these are the bank accounts which are added in here for these particular bank keys. Okay, this is the US and all. Now, if I go in here, what you can do is I have to close the screen. Exit that. Now, can you see here?
Yes.
If you see you have different banks, all these are added, but none of the list of the bank accounts which we are seeing in there is visible currently. Now, if I go a second, Fury app is taking a lot of time. Okay, so once you go in here, if I edit this and if we go in, why we are not able? Okay, let's see what is the bank key that we added. We can see in hierarchy, not in hierarchy. Now, if we see in here, your question is how we can see the already created bank hierarchies for a particular bank keys, right? That's what your question is. Group 1, group 2, we are.
Oh, yes, this grouping here.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, we have not activated the bank account hierarchy for that region. So if I go, 1 second.
Bank account hierarchy.
Now, when we go to this manage bank account hierarchy, we will see we don't see the create option in this manage. No, I think we have chosen this. Yeah.
What's this one?
Choose the create. Create. 1 second. There is create button available here where we can import this, but that option is not okay. That's the reason. There might be an authorization issue also. Sometimes we are not able to add in.
Let me try from my end also.
Yeah. You want to log in? Please log in and you can see.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see where is the create option. This app should have a create option to import it, but can you check if you have authorization?
Yeah, I will check from my end. Just minutes, so the few apps will be uploaded.
Yeah, sure.
Let me show my screen.
Yes, please. I'll stop sharing. Yeah.
The screen is visible now.
Yeah, it's visible.
I think we are trying to go forward.
Manage bank account hierarchy. I think that is an older app we are using. I think used. No, you have to if you go to App Finder, right? But this is also now authorization. Sometimes we don't have this authorization.
I think we report about this for ZaranTech team.
I will talk to them. Maybe you can just mention it to the team that you are facing some issues, in loading it. Yes. But any which ways, the only thing is, I think I did 1 second. Yes, 1 second. What is the reason could be?
This is working.
Yeah, you can just check what is working for you and what is not working.
Nice. Check flow management activities or bank accounts. It's not working.
For me,
I think I should be open the ticket with the ZaranTech team to check about the authorization, yes?
Yes, I think you just check with them on the authorization.
Before,
I will also.
Yes. Because before this app, it was working smoothly.
Okay. And now it's not working.
Yeah, now it's not working. This error is there. And as you can see here, error came here, load file.
Correct. I think it's just the view that for me, whatever I'm just trying to see, it's just the view of an authorization to import it into that particular Fury app. Maybe I'll just check that from my end and I'll show you how it.
Yeah, now it's working. I think now it's working.
It's working? Okay, perfect.
Yes. 1 second. I think it take a lot of time to load.
That's completely okay. You can just quickly check on account hierarchy, manage bank account.
This one.
But you are getting an error.
Yeah, now it's open.
Yes, this is to create. Yeah, you can use group _02 or maybe anyone. Group _02 is the one I am using.
Yes, this already is created. Okay. Now we need to activate this one. Yes.
Okay, I think I am accessing it. You can use a different one or go back and use the second one in the list. I'm using this.
I created this one, I think, before.
Okay. So you can use the one which you created then.
Yeah, that it was created, yes. But now when we go here, when we go forward.
If you go inside the list.
too much slowly is very abstract. Here, I think go again here. Fine. Or I think bang like this.
Right.
There.
Okay, I think once we assign the counterparties the respective bank accounts, then this bank hierarchy will be updated. Okay, I probably believe that after consideration.
Which is the correct
Let
name
me
for
still
the second application?
manage bank account hierarchy. Yeah, the bank hierarchy view, first one. Yeah, and then the second one also you can open. That is the
Yeah.
other app. Yeah, this is the one, which is the second one.
The second one, but what we created for the first one is no premium.
Yes, because these are the banks, basically. These are not the hierarchy. If you see, these are the banks. This is
Yes.
not a hierarchy. We can see the respective banks here. The counterparties that are using these banks that has come and updated.
This only the banks?
Yes. We have only the banks. If you can go to the first step, you will not see this as a hierarchy. You will only see as a bank.
Why is selected only this bank only, not all banks?
Because you might not have assigned these banks to your counterparty. Maybe once we create the respective business partners and assign the respective bank accounts to them, that time this will be updated. Once the bank is, the bank accounts are updated to your counterparties. That's what I'm seeing. This app is not there in our document, which I'm referring to. That's why this activity is also not there. That's why we are getting a bit, stuck up here, but I can check this from my end later and I'll update you how we update it here.
Yeah.
And we can see that. Yeah, you can stop. I will keep a note of it and I can resume it and show you how this works.
Yeah, okay.
Sure. Perfect. Then if I go ahead, let's go. We have created the bank hierarchy. We could, so now what we are going to understand is we have created our bank master data and we have created the bank account hierarchy. We have mapped the house banks and we have, done the basic settings for our BAM, which is bank account management. We have created and stuff. Now we will be, doing the bank relationship management, which is our module 2 last topic, which is bank relationship management. And what do we cover in bank relationship management? So basically, under bank relationship management, we do the other things which we would need for the banks to have the data which is needed for the bank account master, bank master, and reporting purpose. Do we think we have all the data in place? And if so, how they are linked to each other, how we are going to create the number ranges. We need to check that if our bank account master data is completed, how we can, assign the respective payment approvers, how we can do the reporting with that master data. So all those things under cash and liquidity management, we would be doing the basic settings under the bank account management from our GUI. We have done the master data. Now we will come to the transaction data. Is that understandable for you? So if you feel that anywhere we are going a bit faster, please feel free to stop me. Now what we are going to cover is in the base we have set up our house banks. In the base we have set up our bank accounts. We have assigned it to a hierarchy. Now the view would be available in the cash flow analyzer and stuff. So we can see that at a later point of time when we are actually configured and linked that particular treasury module to our cash management module. Now, how we are going to do that? So, under bank account management, the financial supply chain management in the GUI, cash and liquidity management, under bank account management, we are going to complete these settings. So further, what we are going to do is we are going to define the number ranges, respective number ranges, respective settings for other data. So if you see here the configuration, we are going to complete this particular configuration so that this will further help us in linking and making the data linked to where it is required and how it will be populated in future. Okay. So I will be defining number ranges for change requests. So for any change request, which we would need the number ranges for any customizing, which we are going to save under the bank account management, we are going to define the number range.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
When we create a new bank account, the technical ID is created automatically by the system. So that's why we are defining the number ranges for this particular change request IDs. Here, what we see that there is a number range already created. If you want to create a new number range, you can go to the plus sign, add a new number range as 02. The number range should not be overlapping. So I would just copy it and put 2 here. And maybe we can just, this is it. And we have taken how many? 3, 3, 6, 7, 9, 10, 3. I think this is the maximum they have taken. We cannot create a new one, but if we want, we can edit the existing one to a lower level and then we can create. Let me see if the number range is. Okay. Then we can enter the new one, 02. So we'll be starting from 1, putting it to maybe. Okay. Going to save this. We have created the number ranges for our change request. So whatever we are using currently, this number is updated. This change request has been using this number range and it has been updated till 292. We are using it as an internal number range. This is not an external number. So then we will define the number ranges for our bank account technical IDs. So basically, what are bank account technical IDs? Bank account technical IDs are something which we, is used to migrate the house bank. When we are migrating our house banks, this technical ID is used. Now, just a second, let's see if already created. We can create the other one in the same manner. I'll not create it because we can use the existing one. And the other one you can create, but it should not be overlapping. That is how you create the separation. Now, very important, we have created the number range, but it is very important to assign these number ranges. So currently, if we see these number ranges are already assigned, when we do the assignment part, it is very important to see whenever you are assigning a particular number ranges, it should be assigned to respective company codes and respective data where you want that number range or company code. If that is a company code, you want that data to be assigned to that company code or that particular change request ID. So if you see the request number 01 is assigned to the technical ID, this. If you want to, delete it, you can delete it and assign a different request number to different technical ID from here. But we are going to use the existing one, or if you want to see that, I think we can either we have to delete it and create a new one. We cannot create a new one other than this because there is one entry in here. If I go back, I don't have an option to do new entries until I delete this. I delete this. I do not have authorization to create a new one, so I will not be deleting it. No. Okay, so that's how you assign the technical ID with the change request ID. So this is done, and once we assign this, we will further do the settings for bank account master data. What all settings are required under bank account master data is, if you see here, you can see all the details related to the bank account fields is available here. When we were creating a bank account, there were different type of bank accounts available in the managed bank accounts app. If it is a current account, if it is a deposit account, if it is a loan account, all the settings of the bank account can be controlled from the screen. What all settings can be controlled from the screen? The settings like which field under a current account would be sensitive fields. You can those fields as sensitive fields in here. If you tick this, it will become a sensitive field. And whenever you try to change a sensitive field, you can create a particular workflow for that sensitive field. So any field that becomes sensitive, there will be a workflow triggered. So that is the reason why we mark certain fields in the bank account master as sensitive fields. So here, you can activate those. This is the sensitive fields for opening a bank account. So if you broaden this, you will be able to see that these sensitive fields is for activated bank accounts. That means the bank account that has already been created, if you go inside it and see, you can mark these fields as sensitive. And when you go inside it, this will appear as sensitive fields. And when you try to change it, it will be a sensitive field for you and it will trigger a workflow. Whenever you try to create a bank account, you can mark in here In the initial stage itself, when you are creating a bank account, these fields which you choose will be created as a sensitive field. A sensitive field will require an approval, or in general scenarios, that's the reason why we are creating a sensitive field. Now, here we have created a selection ID variant, which we will see further. We don't have to discuss the selection variant. It's a general customizing that we do. And when we talk about selection variants, these variants are available for any sensitive fields that you do. It's a selection ID, and you assign the account type or company code here. Then we define the import methods for bank account. What is import methods for bank account? So whenever we talk about import methods, it's how you are importing your bank accounts. Whenever you are importing the bank accounts via Excel or any other template form, this is the settings that apply. This will be the import method ID, and this will be the description. So whenever you're importing an electronic bank statement, you're importing an PSR, or you're importing any other bank statement. Now, further, here this setting is not required. We are defining the bank statement groups. We are not talking about EBS right now, so I'll skip this. Then comes the payment approver group. This is the important field related to payments. Now, what do you understand by payment approver group from your understanding? What do you think is a payment approver group?
I think payment approval group, can be classified how many group can be used to approve about the payment, yes?
So basically, we create the approval groups, because assume for a particular payment, you want a single step approval. For certain payments, you want a 3-step approval. For certain payments, you want a 4-step approval. So you create groups based on, so that whenever you create a particular item for payment, or when you create a particular payment like treasury payment or vendor payment or customer payment, you apply these approval patterns to that single approval. Later, that will come in future further configurations. We will see how these approvals are assigned to our approval group. So this is the level of approvals we are deciding. This is the level of approvals we are creating. Now, if you go and here and see the approval pattern, so 3-level approval sequences. This is the first step, and this is assigned to a group, which is approval group Z001. Here, if you see, this is the approval group. And if I see the approval patterns for this group, you can see these are the 3 levels of approval. This is first step, approval sequence. This is the second step of the sequence. This is the third step. So whatever you define in here, first approval or second 2-level approval or 3-level approval, you have to give the patterns of that approval in here. And then you have to assign the respective approvals to respective company codes. Respective patterns needs to be assigned to. So if we go to 1700 company code, which we are using, 1710, we are using the P001 as priority 1, which is, if I go here, P001, that is a dual approval, which uses approval group G002. In G002, you can see 2-step approval is there. So it is a dual approval that we are using for company code 1710 as the priority 1. Then we see this is the priority 2. Then if you want to further differentiate on the basis of account type, you can have a criteria that if your account type is a current account, you can further segregate. So for current account, if you want to apply a different setting, you can apply a different priority and different pattern. That is also possible. This is applied to everything. If the type is blank, that means it applies to all account types. But then if you create the account type wise approval patterns, then it will be applicable to those types. Is it confusing for you, or you're able to make it?
I'm confused about the principle. If we wanted to create 4 level of approval for the payment, here should we create four groups or create 4 patterns for one approval group?
Okay, so just firstly, like if you want to do a payment, now your requirement is to have how many level of approval?
Yeah, let's say 3 level of approval.
3 level of approval. So if I go here, define payment approval group, here I will create a new entry, which will be G003 3-level approval. Okay. Then once I save this, under this 3-level of approval, I will go here and then I will define approval patterns. Then I will go to new entries again. I will put my G003 and approval sequence will be first step, and then I will apply G003 here. Then I will assign second step. So here I'm defining the sequence. In G003, my first approval will go to the first step. My first approval will take place in the first place. And then my third approval will take place in the third step. So this is, you have to define only one approval group. Only one approval group is required, but there will be three different patterns to it. So I have created the three different patterns. And then once you have created the patterns, you have to assign these patterns. And then you can assign these patterns to your company code. One approval group will be created, but the approval group, as many as levels are there, that many number of patterns should be created. Then you will assign those patterns to your company code. And when you assign those patterns to your company code, you can assign it on the basis of account type. So if your account type is here, if it is blank, that means this particular pattern is applicable for all the account types. But if your account type is mentioned in here, then you are specifying that the pattern should be this. This should be the priority. That means P001, the first level of approval should take priority. Then the second level of approval, this S001 pattern should take second priority. So that's how you are applying the patterns to your company code. Does that make sense? Only one group.
Yes, yani, which means the grouping as the umbrella. Under this grouping, we have to define different patterns for approval levels.
Yes, and as many as levels you give in the group. If I would have given 2 level of approval, 2 patterns would be created. If I would have given 4 level of approval, 4 patterns would be created. And those 4 patterns needs to be assigned to your company code based on the priority.
Okay.
Perfect. Now here in the automatic approval rejection, what I have done is I have assigned the auto rejection when approval pattern not found, auto rejection when approval list empty, auto approve when approval list empty. So I have given that for 1710 company code, in any of these scenarios, when the system is not able to find any approval pattern, it will auto reject. If it is an auto, when the approval list is empty, it will auto reject. It will auto approve when approval list empty. So you can define as how you want. Usually what we do is whenever the approval list is empty, we will put it as auto rejection. If you want to put it as auto approve, then when the system don't find any approval pattern for your company code, it will auto work.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, further, after defining the approval patterns, we will go to bank account management basic settings. And under basic settings, we'll go to.
What about this terminology about the contract type, which also is coming as the first screen of the.
So here, we usually don't define this settings in a general process. This is a part for a respective contracts. This is not something in the basic settings. Whenever you are having a particular type of contract and when any custom contract or any manual creation you want to do, that time you use it. So if you see this is already enabled. This is a standard configuration which is already enabled. This is how you are restoring the predecessor version. And if you are configuring original process and manual creation, you have already made the settings enable for origin. So this is a standard setting which does not require any configuration. System creates it and you can just change the status for any type of contracts that you're doing for current accounts and account types. You can make the status as active, inactive, closed. All those things will be done from here. Whenever you are opening, closing, I think that will come under closing of bank accounts when we are doing. So whenever you're doing any closing of a bank accounts, you can mark the status of those bank accounts in here. You can create new entries of respective account types and you can choose the account and company code details in here and you can mark it as closed at bank and all those things. This is a very standard settings and you don't have to change it. It will, mostly impact when you're changing your master data. And this is something to where you control your field status basically when you want to hide some tabs or hide the field status basically. If you want to do something here for a current accounts, if you don't want bank relationship or house bank, anything, you can mark it here and you can save it. Like if I don't want to see bank correspondence in my Fiori app manage bank accounts, I can control this from this screen. So it's basically pretty standard. We don't change it in SAP. That's why you can just skip it. These settings we don't usually try to change until and unless, there is a reason for, requirement from any particular customer, which is a very, rare case. That's the time we change it, or else we don't. Now, in the bank account management, we will go to basic settings. We will see where's the field state. I want to show you the field status configuration of cash and the bank management. We have this is done. Okay, coming to 1 second. There is a field status group configuration. I think the field status group path has changed after the upgrade. I'm just trying to see where it is. It's here. So I think after the upgrade, there's some changes in the path from under bank account management only. We have this manage field status. Okay, I couldn't see that. Okay, here we have the I will also show you the enable payment approval, but that will come later in the configuration. That's why I'm just keeping it on hold, but still I'll show you so that you don't get confused on any stuff. So when we talk about field status group, you understand in FICO also we have field statuses. These are the different field status group which are used at different levels. In each field status group, you apply different settings for your field status. So when I talk about different settings to field status, you apply it to the different groups. Like you could create a field group this for your current account type, you're using this field status group. Under this field status group, which fields would be appearing as suppressed, display, mandatory, you can control it from the field status group here. So now you can see the scenario. In this, you can create new entries, you can choose the change request step, and then you can choose the field group. In these field groups, if you see the 01 request type will be in the scenario is to create bank account. Whenever you're talking about create, this is to create bank account, this is to edit bank account, this is to close bank account. Scenario refers to the creation, addition, and closing of bank accounts. The change request step refers to whatever is the steps in the field. Like 01 is the step of the field, is the first step. When you are when you wanted it in the edit mode. So this particular field group, if I go to open 01E, if I go open 01E, this is my double click on this. And here, I don't want to apply a special ID. First, I'm to show you. Okay. So here for this open bank account step edit mode, when you are opening a bank account, step 1, the field status group workflow that you want to use is in the edit mode. So this is how you create a particular scenario in bank account. And when you're talking about creation, addition, or deletion, you can, see the field status. And if we move towards your right in this, or maybe not here, there is an option to, see it editable, the field status group only, I think you can see. It's not here. What I will choose a particular, which you see, this would be yes. See, so if you see, this is the object, bank account management. This is the description. This is the field name. This is the field status. What are the field status? You can see the field status, editable, hidden, mandatory, read only. This is the major setting that we are going to do in here. From here itself, you will be able to control all the fields in the bank account management. When we are talking about bank account management fields, everything will be controlled from this particular screen, and you can change the status from here. You can apply different groups. You can apply the contract type to, this is the contract type settings for different current accounts. This is a last configuration we saw, the current account, bank account, corporate account, any different accounts. We can create a scenario wise field group, and we can control the field group from here. So you can create multiple field groups. You can assign those field groups based on different types of contract. And once the field group is created, you can control the field groups field statuses from here. Is it clear? Any questions in here? This is a very basic settings which we do in FI also.
Yes, this is clear also for me. Yes.
Perfect. So whenever we are doing any changes, I will also, if you want, I can disable one settings and show it to you if there is no, and whenever you are creating any field sensitive field in the last configuration, when you're creating any field which is a sensitive field, that would also not change from here. If you are trying to change this configuration and you have made it as a sensitive field, you need to make it as a mandatory field or required field or something which will be in display mode. You have to take that decisions accordingly. If something is in mandatory field, you have to make sure that there is a workflow triggered for it. So whenever we do these kind of things, there is a lot of background behind, why we are doing all that stuff. Now, further, what we are going to do is we are going to see the master data, how the master data of all bank accounts are controlled by Treasury and Cash Management, how we see the relationship set, how we are going to activate it, how we are going to activate the, bank account contract type, full feature of the, bank account contract. So how we are going to do this? One second.